Subscribe to James the Sheriff Dixon, you motherfuckers.
We're recording. This is Fun Times with the Sheriff, Season 2, Episode 6, and I have Eric Baudour. I hope I got your last name right.
Oh, you nailed it. Yeah, you're good. Yeah, happy to be here. Thank you for asking me to be on. I mean, this is cool. Let's talk about some stuff.
Yeah. And for tonight's episode, we're going to talk about Jeff Goldblum movies, and there's a specific one you wanted to start off the list that we were just talking about, or?
No, I think that the one that everyone goes to first is like, Jurassic Park. It feels like that's the one where you're like, oh, okay, that's that. Yeah, Jeff Goldblum, and everyone remembers him from that and everything.
Yeah.
But like, his filmography is like insane.
Yeah.
He is in so much stuff that I don't think people remember. Like, I remember him from like Dr. Katz episodes and Tom Goes to the Mayor and like really weird stuff. Like there's just stuff that he's in, that's not Independence Day, where you just go like, oh man, like Earth Girls Are Easy is like such a, like, what a fun movie that is so to be. I don't know if you've ever seen, it's an 80s movie that's just sort of like weird, goofy, strange. And it's very of its time. I think it came out in like 80. It had to be like 80. Well, no, if I felt like it was 84, then it was probably 87. Like, I just feel like every time, like the 80s and the 90s, I feel like if you go, well, that was really trendy in 84, you'd be like, yeah, but it was in movies in 88. So it's probably around then. And it's Jeff Goldblum, Jim Carrey, and Damon Wayans being space aliens with Gina Davis. And like, it's so, what a bizarre, like, MTV movie. That's how it felt. It felt like, what if MTV produced a movie in like the mid 80s? Earth Girls Are Easy. And that was, I remember when I was like really young and that being on TV and stuff, and like just going, man, this is weird. Like, what a strange movie that I felt like I shouldn't be watching, but great. That to me that's a Jeff Goldblum movie to me.
And isn't he like a weird person in like real life too, or whatever? Like,
yeah, it's exactly. And so it's just like this weird, I don't know, just very bizarre thing where, I mean, if that came out in like the mid to late 80s, when did the Fly probably came out? The Fly had to come out before that, I would think, or right around the same time.
That's one of my
weird.
Favorites. Is the Fly. Yeah, that's one of my favorites of his, the Brendel Fly.
I think The Fly is a really underrated movie. I know that everyone goes like, oh, The Fly. It is a very underrated movie for the effects and the body horror that are in, like, I have a really hard time with body horror in film where it's like that, David, like, it's like the Cronenberg stuff, right? Where it's like, it's grotesque, it's inhuman, it's like somebody falling apart. It's things like that where I have a hard time with movies like that, but The Fly does such a good job of manifesting it sort of over time without thrusting it at you that you go, this movie rules. I think The Fly is, what a great performance from everyone all around. And like, what a weird step from The Fly with Gina Davis and Jeff Goldblum to Earth Girls Are Easy with Gina Davis and Jeff Goldblum. That's awesome. I never even thought about that. That's like that's insane. That's so cool.
And the right after that was Jurassic Park, which I think kicked off
that. I think that really like made his career, right? Because I think that I put him in that same camp of actors like Ed Begley Jr. and like Laura Dern, who have been like killing it for like everything they're in. You're just like, well, they're good. It's like they're good in it. But never really getting their due through like the 80s and then like through like the early 90s. And then it felt like Ed Begley Jr. sort of was content to be like that high level, mid tier kind of like actor where he's like, fuck it, I'll do TV. Like he's in like a lot of TV. I was just thinking of like Transylvania 65000, and it's like that's Goldblum and Ed Begley Jr. And then with Goldblum and Laura Dern in Jurassic Park. And I feel like Laura Dern was that same kind of like she could be in anything and she'll knock it out of the fucking park. Like just put Laura Dern in everything and it's great. And I think it's really cool that Jurassic Park was such a big swing type movie for Spielberg, not in terms of like, oh, can he do this? But his cast is strange.
The cast choicing, yeah.
It's definitely not in the realm of what you expect from a Spielberg movie. Like these are, a lot of these people here are like independent film. Laura Dern and Jeff Goldblum and like
Sam Neill.
It's like, how bizarre. What a strange cast to come together for a movie about dinosaurs are back.
And then for that to go on for another 6 movies.
Yeah, right? Yeah, and then, but now that they have Jurassic World 2 or whatever, where the dinosaur, you shoot someone with a laser gun and then the dinosaur attacks them, but why wouldn't you just shoot them with a regular gun?
At that point, just have a gun.
Yeah, just shoot them with a regular gun instead of having a dinosaur. It just seems like it would be more unruly to have to be like, well, we have to bring the dinosaur and then make sure the dinosaur doesn't get into trouble or like eat anyone. It's this big dinosaur problem. And then it's like, well, what if it was just, what if you just had like an AK?
Yeah.
That seems easier. That just seems easier than having a dinosaur also.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Jeff Goldblum's performance in that as well. He was only in there for like not even 5 minutes of screen time, and everybody.
Yeah. What did you think of that? Like, what did you think of like his use in that movie? Not like, don't put it in context of like he should have been in it more or whatever. Just what you got on the screen. What did you think about that?
Oh, for just the trailer, for him to spout the trailer lines.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
They just wanted him just to want him. That's pretty much what I thought of it when I saw him. Because he wasn't really there to advance the plot.
Crazy. And you're right. He was just there to say like trailer lines. He just said like, oh, it's this and this is now it is a Jurassic World. And you're just like, yeah, there you go. Great, man. Pretty cool. I get it. If I was Jeff Goldblum, I'd be like, whatever. I'll show up for like the payday. I don't give a shit. And then sort of check out and take off because why not? Right? Like
he's gonna be in the last one. I think the next one's the last one, isn't it? The one after this one.
Dude, they've said that the last one's the last. Here's my biggest gripe. Here's my biggest gripe with franchise movies right now. They have a thing where they go, well, this one actually takes place after the second one. The third one is non-canon, so you can forget about that one.
Like
we
Star
thought
Wars.
that one, yeah, we thought that one sucked too. And it's like, no, you can't do that. Like you made it, you have to stand by it. You can't say like, this is a non-canon entry. Oh, pretend like that one didn't happen. That's bullshit. I think that you should have to like be like, nope, that Lost World or whatever that third one was. Yep. You have to play into it. You can't say it didn't happen because to me, if you do that, then what's the point of seeing any of these movies? Why see any of these movies? What is the point?
And then they just brought back the second island and the last one that came out. Anyways, when they said
Ridiculous.
the second one, when they said the second one didn't matter.
That is maybe the worst ending to a movie I've ever seen. And I don't really care if you're listening to this and you're like, oh, no spoilers. Don't listen to this right now. Then grow up and get out of here. The way that it ends, where it's like the clone girl is like, okay, are we gonna save these dinosaurs? No, they're gonna die. And you're like, well, that's sad, but if we let them out, then the whole ecosystem is fucked up.
Yeah.
And then the clone girl hits the button and lets them out, and she goes, they're just like me. Do you understand the premise of Jurassic Park? They all died once before. And then we brought them back. just do it again. What? Like, that's insane. That's maybe the most insane, like, breaking of your premise I've ever seen. Yeah, I don't know. It's sad that they all died. Yes, I agree. It is sad that they all died, but we're talking about changing the entire globe to where it's out of control now. Yeah, but what would happen? Will we be able to bring the dinosaurs back for a second time? Absolutely we could. Yeah, 100%. There's no stopping us. We could absolutely bring the dinosaurs back. I hated that ending. I hated it. I was so mad.
And B.D. Wong for that whole movie was pretty much working on bringing them back anyways.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. He was just like, what a weird guy to have. Like, I know that he's in that first one. Like, I know he's in Jurassic Park. But, like, to go, like, oh, yeah, B.D. Wong was in Jurassic Park, so he should be in the new Jurassic Park. And you're like, B.D. Wong was not a central figure. He was just a scientist there, and you can make any science. That, to me, is, like, fan service that I don't like. I do not like fan service like that at all.
And I doubt everyone really remembered him, other than the.
No, I remember him from. I remember B.D. Wong from Law and Order. That's what I remember B.D. Wong from. So it's like, damn, come on.
Yeah, not the Life Finds a Way scene.
No, you know who I remember from that? Jeff Goldblum. It's unreal. It's unreal. It's so. To me, it's frustrating. I get very frustrated with it. The thing, I guess, getting back onto Jeff Goldblum, the thing I like about him is that he's sort of leaned into the character of Jeff Goldblum. I get that, I've heard a lot of stories of him where it's like, but that's really how he is, and it's like, I don't care, whatever. He's an actor. That's what they're supposed to do. But he's in stuff like Thor Ragnarok. Yeah. And he just gets to be Jeff Goldblum. Yeah, no. And I think that the reason that stuff happened is because of Tim and Eric. Like, I think that he did Tom Goes to the Mayor, and they were like, it's like Larry Sanders Show was stuff that he was in every so, he like kind of peppered in every so often, whatever. And that's like where he could have fun. But Bob Odenkirk, apparently he's in Run Ronnie Run. I don't remember him in it. It's Mr. Show. The guys who made Mr. Show, Bob Odenkirk and David Cross, made a movie called Run Ronnie Run. And apparently Jeff Goldblum is in it, uncredited. And I think that is the connection where Bob Odenkirk, I think, produced Tim and Eric there with Tom Goes to the Mayor and everything. And I think that is how Jeff Goldblum got into it, because in that he's just very Jeff Goldblum. And that's like the early 2000s where he's still kind of playing characters, but not being Jeff Goldblum in everything. You know what I mean? And I think after Tom Goes to the Mayor, I think that's the turn where he's like, I should just do this.
Yeah, because there's this show on Disney Plus that he's in where he just like travels the world, and he's just Jeff Goldblum in that show. Is it called What If or something like that? It's something like that. It's some like he's just like excited to do it, and you're just like, okay, cool. But again, he's just like, oh, I'm Jeff Goldblum. I'll just be Jeff Goldblum. But I think he's able to do that in part from the Tim and Eric stuff. And then after that, he's in like a bunch of Eric Wareheim music videos, I think. And it's just, I think he was just very excited to do, I'm just Jeff Goldblum. I'm doing this Jeff Goldblum thing. And people want that, right? Like you want the gimmick. Everything is pro wrestling. And here's why. You want the gimmick that you are sold. And when people go, oh, don't meet your heroes, it's because you're dealing with the real person. And not the gimmick, right? Exactly. But when Jeff Goldblum is the character all the time, then you are getting Jeff Goldblum, and that's one where people go, oh, yeah, you should meet Jeff Goldblum. Exactly. Exactly. And speaking of like the early like 90s, 2000s, we have one more Independence Day.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, did you see the second one, like the sequel or whatever?
The one that came out like a few years ago or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. I never watched that. Like, I remember seeing the original Independence Day in theaters, like when it came out.
I heard it was big when it first came out.
It did. It was definitely. What was that like? Was it 96 or 97?
Yeah. Something like
So,
that.
so when that movie came out, it came out on 4th of July weekend.
Mm-hmm.
It came out like in a time when I wonder what it came out against. Let's look it up. Independence Day 1996 release date. Okay, and let's see what else came out. Came out July 3rd, 1996.
Okay.
That's huge. Like, it came out 4th of July weekend. So let's say 4th of July 1996 movie releases. Because it felt like it destroyed
everything else,
everything that was coming out at the same time. Okay, Courage Under Fire, Kingpin, which is an underrated movie, Harriet the Spy, Phenomenon, which is a terrible movie, Kazam, The Frighteners. Oh no, Kazam was the next weekend. They were smart. Okay, that's just July. So we're looking at Kingpin, Courage Under Fire, which is a Denzel Washington movie, and Phenomenon are like the three movies that look like they were released against them.
The opening weekend, yeah.
Yes. That is, like, it was so big. That movie was, Independence Day was so gigantic, nothing touched it, and it was like a cultural touchstone. It felt like it had McDonald's tie-ins and Burger King tie-ins, and like everything was like Independence Day, and it's coming out on July 4th, and it just kept showing the trailer where it's the president, it's Bill Pullman, and he says, and this will be our Independence Day. And you're just like,
speech,
I have to see this fucking movie. I have to see this fucking movie.
And then
it was absolutely crazy.
Yeah, and the second one, like you were saying, was not as...
Sucks!
Yeah.
No, not at all. Not at all. It's that Roland Emmerich went like crazy. Like, that was the movie where he tried with Stargate and he tried with Universal Soldier, where he was trying to do sci-fi, but it was all too sci-fi. There was nothing to ground it. So if you watch Universal Soldier, it's definitely like, in the future, there are soldiers and they will destruction to rival soldiers, like that kind of shit. And it's like, there's like no grounding. It's Jean-Claude Van Damme wearing like an eyepiece thing, and you're just like, this kind of is not what I'm looking for. Stargate goes even further and is hard sci-fi. Teleport to another world that is Egypt, but it's not.
Yeah.
And like, I know that it spawned the TV series, but whatever.
All three of them.
Exactly. Yeah. And then Independence Day is, this is America. The aliens attack. America fights back. Done. It didn't need
the sequel. Yeah.
It didn't. It was just like, well, we did it. Like, he's a big budget disaster movie guy that wants like the big payoff and the crazy fight and the big battle and everything like that. But I don't think he nailed it until Independence Day. And then even after that, you can look at his other stuff and it's like, well, these are good, like 2012 and Day After Tomorrow. And
2012.
I mean, it's fine. He directed Godzilla.
Yeah.
The one that came out, like the US Godzilla in 99. Like, that movie sucked.
Yeah.
But like, I think that he just hit the ball out of the park with Independence Day. And I think a lot of that had to do with the cast.
Yeah. Yep.
Like,
Bill Pullman, Will Smith. Yeah.
Yep. Even Randy Quaid being weird guy, it worked. It all worked in that movie. And it's like, damn, man. I think that's a big thing. And again, going back to the Spielberg, Jeff Goldblum thing or whatever, it's the right cast. I think that other casts could probably pull off that movie, but I don't think it would be nearly as endearing as it ended up being.
There's only one Bill Pullman speech, and
that's hey, there you go. That's it. And there's only one Jeff Goldblum, and he's being the scientist, and that's his wheelhouse, right?
Yeah.
That's his thing, and it feels like it definitely was Jeff Goldblum's sort of trajectory, whether he knew it or not, especially where he did not fucking know it. But his trajectory was to be Jeff Goldblum in all of the stuff that he's in, because he's not in a lot of stuff, but when he's in it, everyone goes, "It's got Jeff Goldblum. Hell yeah, I'll see that."
Yeah.
And that's fun.
All right. Well, we're right up on the time here.
Damn.
Yeah, that went by. And I know you
Loved
gotta
it.
and I know you got to get out of here soon too. So, is there anything you want to promote on here?
Hey, man, I want to promote more episodes of your podcast. Go back and listen to all of the episodes of this podcast. This was a lot of fun. This was great. Just being able to talk about this stuff and talk movies and whatever. I had a good time. So thank you very much for having me on here, man. I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you for coming on here. I guess with that, I'm gonna end here. Thanks for being on here, Eric.
Hey, thank you for having me. Talk to you again soon.
All right.
I want to shout out an amazing channel, James the Sheriff Dixon. Oh, he's such a great guy, and he is super cool for coming to the show. I'm glad I got to meet him in person, and you should subscribe.